Hey gamers, Foxfires here, bringing you an update on ArcheAge. Server merges are only a few days away, and there are important differences for how it's going down this time versus last time. In this video, I want to cover those differences and 5 things you can do to prepare. Be sure to check out my previous video covering the main announcement for the server merge and its related details. Briefly, servers are coming down Thursday, September 7th, and they'll come back up Saturday, September 9th. There'll be a 24-hour period to log on and get ready before land opens up for placement. Last time, when servers merged, it was 2 servers into 1. Lots of players had spent substantial in-game gold getting their land together in the place that they wanted. The server merges undermined this. There was an intense land rush to gobble up the prime locations. With everyone trying to log in at once, login servers were overloaded. Lots of people couldn't get in. Ultimately, some of the servers even had to have rollbacks. It was madness for the mail system, as everyone desperately tried to fish out their fully kitted land. It was mass chaos, incredibly stressful. This time, servers are being merged 3 into 1, not 2 into 1, and they affect pretty much everyone. So for the prime land locations, it's going to be even more intense than last time. To address the login issues the last mergers faced, Tryon announced that this time they will be barring land placement for 24 hours. The idea is that players will have time during that 24 hours to log in, get their mail, items, full kit houses and farms ready to be placed. Closer to time, they've promised to release specific times that the land will become available on each server. Because the servers are already up, this will ease the load on the login servers and the mail system. Despite these changes, however, this merger still has some of the same problems as the previous one, as well as some major new issues. Namely, lots of players have spent substantial in-game gold getting their land together in the place that they want. Once again, the server merges undermine this. But there's a completely different set of things you can do this time to prepare. Last time, you could set your recall / your hearth to the location closest to the land that you wanted. You could have house and farm designs already in your inventory to bypass the need for the mail system. Because everything happened at once, the setup of the last merger favored well-prepared players who focused all their efforts on getting one character from one account online to run in and claim land. Everyone started at their race's starting zone, so players could only reasonably run to a location one account at a time. Additionally, running multiple accounts on a computer slows down the load speed, but none of that matters this time with the 24-hour period to sort everything out. Instead, this time completely favors players who have multiple patroned accounts. Multiple patroned accounts. Why? Let's break it down. With the 24 hours to sort it all out, when the land becomes available, you can have multiple accounts online at the same time, all having had time to get designs on them, all strategically positioned around the world in your favorite locations. No running or loading at the critical moment. You start with your favorite, place your land, then tab over to the next account and do the same. Then again and again for as many patroned accounts as you have and as many land locations as you want. Each one can be done in seconds, and then you tab over to the next pre-positioned account. Contrast that with a player who only has one patroned account. They position themselves. They may or may not get land in their favorite spot. Either way, for them to move on to their next spot, they can't simply tab over. They have to portal and run, or log out of that character at the first location and into other characters who are positioned at other locations on that patroned account. Either way, they'll have load screens and additionally have the debuff that bars them from placing anything for 20 seconds or so. In comparison, those extra load screens and the debuff take far too long. By the time they get to their second or third location, players with multiple accounts who simply tabbed over and placed their land will have already claimed all that prime land in those spots. Even if players with multiple patron accounts don't want land in a second or third spot, it's guaranteed that many are going to try for it, if only to sell the land once the rush is over. So, there's a real chance that this merger will be just as stressful and just as intense as the last one, just as many heartbreaks. Okay, so what can you do? For those of you who have played ArcheAge for a while, you know to leave nothing to chance. In the event that things go catastrophically wrong, have your most valuable items in your inventory before the servers go down. Keep some land designs in your inventory too. The special lunar, solar, stellar gazebos are perfect for this because they always place back down fully built. Remember, you can only have 2 unbuilt properties per account. It won't let you place more land after that. Related to this, put the land designs on your toolbars in the order that you want them to go down. Keybind them. I'll say that again, keybind them. Practice those keybinds. Every fraction of a second matters when the land opens. Even if you're a player who only wants land in one spot, not 2 or 3, you should have backup locations in mind because you may not successfully reclaim land in your chosen area. And if you're not ready to throw down land in your backup locations, you could miss out altogether. So even if you're a player who typically only has 1 patroned account, you could give a second or even a third account patron status for a month. Triumph probably hopes that you will. Put a couple of unbuilt house designs on that main character for each of these accounts so that you can get them all in position during the 24 hours. Then use the tab method to place land when it opens. If you can't afford to have multiple patroned accounts for a month and you want to stick with just 1, use a second and third unpatroned account to scout for you. By tabbing to these accounts, you'll be able to see if your second or third favorite land spot is already claimed or still open. You can immediately see how much competition is in the area. Then you can make the best informed decision under the circumstances where you want to portal and run, or which character pre-positioned on your patron account you want to log into next. Practice running multiple accounts before the servers go down. Get a feel for how many instances of the game your computer can handle without lag and how much extra time it takes for you to load. Yes, players with better computers have an advantage. They get direct eyes on as many locations as they can handle. They may have 3 patroned accounts and an additional 3 unpatroned accounts acting as scouts for alternate locations where land hasn't been yet entirely claimed. Another thing to watch out for are guilds or groups working together. Everyone will be standing around the prime spots waiting to place land. Guilds will absolutely be trying to stake out as much of it as they can for their guild, or again, if for no other reason than to sell it after the rush is over. Some members may be tasked with trying to block or interfere with non-guildies trying to place land in the area. Remember, at the critical moment when land is opened, all they have to do is block your line of sight or interfere with you in such a way as to cost you just a second or 2 of time. That gives their land placers the edge to place. They get the land, you don't. What are you going to do? Record it, report it to Tryon? Even if you did, at most, Tryon would temporarily ban the interfering players, which would probably be characters from dummy accounts let into the guild explicitly for this purpose and not actual mains. But Tryon's not going to take swaths of land back from a guild and give it to you and others. The guild will keep the land and you'll be empty-handed. This doesn't even begin to touch hacks and mods out there to place land faster than a regular player. Even if it's something small like bypassing the confirmation window, that's all they need to get the edge on you and move on to the next plot. You're forever trying to play catch up, and in the end, that leaves them with the land and you empty-handed. Okay, a lot of this sounds pretty doom and gloom, but if you've played ArcheAge for any length of time, you know this is how things tend to go down. Give yourself what edge you can by preparing. So let's recap the 5 things you can do to prepare. 1. Before the servers go down, have your most valuable items in your inventory, including built or unbuilt houses and farm designs. Balance this by having a few in your bank too. You never know what part of the system might break or how Tryon will decide to proceed, so hedge your bets. 2. During the 24-hour window, when the servers come up, get your mail, divvy things up, and generally get your characters ready and into position to claim land. Put the land designs on your toolbars and keybind them. 3. Have multiple patroned accounts with designs on them so that you can tab over and place your land rather than portaling and running or logging onto another character on the same account. 4. If your computer can handle it, have additional unpatroned accounts positioned in as many alternate locations as possible so you can tab to directly assess the percentage of land claimed in each spot. Then you can get your patroned account to the best possible alternate choices. And lastly, 5. Watch out for guilds or groups staking large areas of land. They may try to interfere with your land placement. And that brings us to the current state of play in the game. Mergers of this magnitude really reflect the declining player base, so stay tuned for my upcoming video, 5 Reasons ArcheAge is in Trouble. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it's helped you guys, maybe even inspired you with some of your own ideas about how to prepare for the server merge. Be sure to like and subscribe to catch more helpful videos. Good luck out there, guys. And as always, thanks for watching, gamers. I'm Foxfires, and this has been an update on ArcheAge.